Boom! What up, ladies and
Boom, we're
gents?
live and listening to my high school music.
That's just the way it rolls. I don't have my soundboard, so we did the old Spotify tab thing, and we're gonna get this show on the road. Let's just get this thing started. Here we go. Here we go.
Shut up and sit down.
The Business Bros Podcast was created for you. Learn from the business professionals who come to share their stories. Find out what's working in business, on social media, what's hot and what's not, straight from the mouths of successful entrepreneurs out there doing the real work. And now, welcome to another episode of
Business Bros? Business Bros? What the hell just happened?
Closed out the tab randomly. Did it cut out the whole intro and everything?
No, it didn't cut out the whole intro. The intro kept playing, probably because I'm sitting in here. But then
That
the thing
is so
started, and I'm
funny.
like, Business Bros? Where's
Bro,
the other bro?
I'm on my load
Business
zone.
Bro. I'll just Business Bro it by myself. It's cool.
It's
So,
cool,
hey,
dude. It is.
something interesting. Like, we didn't even discuss what we were going to talk about before this episode, just because, we were supposed to have our premium guest. Not sure what happened. Whatever. It's cool. But interesting thing to talk to you about. What I posted actually on my Instagram the other day, which is about sucking at something new.
Oh, dude, understanding that whatever you're going to start at, you're going to suck at. That
first.
like the embrace the suck idea, right? So
The embrace the suck
This is
idea, yes.
this is perfect, especially since we're coming to the end of the year and people are going to sit down and start doing vision boards. They're going to start doing an analysis of what happened the year before. They're going to step on the scale. They're going to look at things they want to change. But I've been saying this lately. People don't change until the pain is great, until there's actually something that hurts. A classic example, health, right? Health is one of those things that has been a lot in the news because of the whole idea of pro-vax, anti-vax, who should get it, blah, 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 all this stuff. And so, one of the ways that you can take care of yourself on top of whether you get vaccinated or not is to take care of your health, right? It's to actually eat right and work out. But it doesn't feel good when you first start working out. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. It's cold outside. Nobody wants to move. It sucks, right? And how do you make it stick? How do you make it keep going? And I think part of that is what you're describing, like embracing the suck. Like at some point, come to a realization, come to a come to Jesus moment, something that you have with yourself that you're going to say, okay, I know this is going to suck, but I'm going to do it anyways. Right.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to be good at it, but I'm going to do it anyways. It's not going to give me the result that I'm looking for after one effort, but I'm going to do it anyways. Like if you can get your mind into that mindset of I am not good at this, but I'm going to do it anyways. It's going to hurt, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to look like an idiot, but I'm going to do it anyways. That's where you're going to improve.
And honestly, I feel like this message is especially for for me, it's really for like my younger self, right? Because the thing that I was trying to learn, the thing that I'm learning right now and sucking at is playing guitar, right? I'm 38 years old now. I tried to learn how to play guitar probably when I was like 16, right? The same person, by the way, who's teaching me now tried to teach me when I was 16. I think I tried again when I was like in maybe my early 20s, like 2021, right? And then I want to say, honestly, for the past 17 years, I have told myself over and over and over again that my hands just don't work that way, that my fingers just don't do the thing, that I just, I'm not musically talented or gifted or whatever, like all of these things. But the bottom line was I was afraid of sucking, right? Like I was embarrassed even just sitting here by myself, just, strumming the guitar and like, realizing at 2021, oh, I suck at this. Like I didn't get it right the first time. So I just give up. right? But just like with our podcast, and that was what kept going through my head, just like with this podcast, episode 1, we sucked. We were terrible. Episode 869, 69, dude.
69, dude. Much better.
We're not Joe Rogans, but we're absolutely much better. We can sit, we can talk, we can, just come up with nothing out of something, out of thin air. We can just talk for 15, 20, 30 minutes and make it
Not
happen.
just that, like every single one of our episodes looks well produced. We can put on a great show. I mean, there's a lot that has gone into it. It's a matter of fact, I mean, that's kind of the
He ain't lying.
that I wanted to talk to today. Like what every business needs is content. It's advertising. It's to be in front of more people and tell them what it is you do. And going back to the guitar thing real quick though, like embracing that process. Like, dude, your fingers, we've been talking about how sensitive your fingers have been just because you've been holding the strings on the guitar, something that your hands and your fingers are not used to. The sensation of putting those ends of your fingertips on the guitar strings, like all those different things are practice.
Sore fingertips, man.
Practice.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird feeling.
Dude, it totally is. But okay, so let me ask you this though, like, even though you're gonna be playing on the guitar right now, even though you're practicing, like, do you see what's your end goal? Like, do you see yourself becoming like are you doing it to become a musician, like some sort of rock star, or like, you know what I mean? Like
Hell
even
no.
in these small goals that you're working on, like
what's the exit strategy?
Yeah, what's the end game for you?
What's the end game? I would just love to be able to like strum a guitar and play some songs and sing. Actually, funny thing that I was thinking about. Okay, so I ride a Harley, right? And then I've got this guitar that Nina's letting me borrow, right? And yesterday I'm riding down the freeway and, I got this guitar on my back on a Harley and I'm just like feeling ultra cool, right? Like I felt cool. Just I'm not, but I felt cool.
Yeah.
Riding a Harley with a guitar on my back, like
Desperado style, dude.
Right. Got many references of that yesterday. And so like what I was thinking was, I have been enjoying the business building process, and this year I took a lot of time off, right? But what that did for me was it made me realize like how important time really is, right? Like I don't want to spend 14 hours a day plugging away at my business every single day, right? Like I actually enjoy life and, experiencing other things other than sitting here in front of my computer all day long.
Dude,
but what?
I had on that note, I had the other day I asked a question on Facebook. I was like, hey, I interview a ton of different people on the podcast. What are some questions that you would ask entrepreneurs? And people had been asking some of those questions. One of the questions that got asked was, if you could add up all the time you've put into your business and where you are today, would you say it was worth it? Right?
And hell yes.
And but that's the question you kind of got to ask yourself. In your situation, yes, right? But there are a lot of people who are in the beginning parts of building their business. They're the embrace the suck part, right?
Right.
And so they're putting in extra hours, more hours than they would in a normal 9 to 5.
14,
They're putting
16,
in,
18, 20.
Or maybe they still have their 9 to 5. They're working their 9 to 5. They get out of there, and then they're putting another 4, 5, 6 hours right into their business. At that point, and you
trying to manage kids and families and all these other things.
It's not the easiest thing, right?
Hell
like
no.
it's you're looking back and you're like, man, this maybe that's not worth it, right? Maybe it's not worth my time to put into this. But again, it's like, what is your exit strategy? What is your end game? What are you trying to achieve? I think we get easily deflated when we try to compare ourselves to some of those greats. Like if you were going to hop on here and be like, yeah, I'm going to play the guitar. I'm going to be the next, lead guitarist in Metallica, right? Or Jimi Hendrix or Carlos Santana or whatever. Like if you're trying to be that level and you're starting off at 38 and you're barely feeling the sensation of the strings on your fingers, like that's a long way to go. And it could be very demoralizing to try to compare yourselves to people who've been at it for so long. But if you can just, try to get a little bit better every day, like to chunk it down. Me for this week,
But
right?
by the same token, though, like Alan Rickman didn't even get his major start until he was like 40, right? Morgan Freeman too. Like I think he started his career at 40 some odd,
yeah,
right? Like
I'm not saying it's impossible, right? It's not that it's
right.
impossible. It's just what is your end game, right? Like they
I just
got
want to be
started
able to
at a
go to the
later time.
beach and like go to a bonfire and play some tunes and like have fun.
The
That's
guy
it.
at the campfire, dude. That's
I wanna-
always.
That's
but dude,
it.
the campfires are always better when you get the singing going.
Right, exactly. And you know, I mean, we're not like kumbayaing it or nothing, but like we could pick some good tunes and like just have some fun with it.
Dude, that's it, right? And that, but
I,
see,
I,
that's,
I would like to be that guy at the beach. That'd be cool.
yeah, but that's the goal, right? And I think
That's the
this is
goal.
where I think, you know, when you get into these situations where you're working your ass off at something, but you don't have a specific goal in mind, you don't exactly know where you're going, and so you're working your ass off, spinning your wheels without a destination in mind, and this is where burnout happens, right? This is why the process and the sucky part, what you're doing, hurts so much because you don't know where you're going.
It's worse. It's so much worse.
Dude, we had this discussion about who we're talking to on our audience, right? And it's been getting narrower and narrower and narrower. And I think now we're getting really good at who we're speaking to, and it's really that entrepreneur who's got that W-2 job, who wants to leave and start their own side hustle. The one who was in COVID and had a regular job and then all of a sudden had to figure out how to maintain. You got this side hustle, this business that you're working on. And it's really the fact that you own your job right now, but you're trying to get it to a position where this is where your livelihood comes in and you're more of a business owner. There are going to be times where things suck, right? There are going to be times where you have to do that extra work. But if you know where you're going, right, don't try to think of this business as something that you're going to make millions and millions of dollars with. And if it is, it's a completely different workload than if you're just going to make an extra $1,000 a month on it. Completely different workload, completely different goal setting, completely different way that you plan and structure your day. Both are possible, right? Both are within your reach. But it's up to you to decide what it is that you want to do. What is your goal here, right? If you're at 40 and you're like Ray Kroc and you're going to conquer the world, that's a completely different work ethic. Or if you're like, you know, Joe Schmo, who's going to just have this little side hustle on the side and have an extra $1,000 a month to take his family on vacation, that's cool too. Like, what is it that you want to get to, dude?
Extra $1,000 a month, that'd be great, right?
Right? I mean, dude, it makes a huge difference. It makes
yeah.
a huge difference. That extra, you know, oftentimes that extra couple $100, $200-300 a month that you have extra, that can go a long way into your budget, getting you out of debt. It could help you build an emergency fund. It can help you start that investment portfolio, put away your kids' college, put away for, you know, the ability for you to buy a house, whatever it is. That extra couple $100 can go a long way. You know, you turn that into an extra $1,000, life changes for a lot of people. I mean, huge life changes, and it's not that big of a difference. And it really comes down to what this kind of show was, because I wrote it out actually. It's what every business needs. You know, most of us who have gotten into this business space we get into this idea of working for ourselves, and we get a few jobs here and there because people know what it is we do, but then it becomes difficult. Right? Then it gets a little problematic. And this is where burnout happens. This is where people decide that self-employment or business is not for them because they need to get one thing that they are lacking. They need to get one thing on a regular basis in a predictable way. And that's more customers. Like, that's what it comes down to. You need to be able to have an influx of customers coming in on a regular basis, a lead generation system, something like that. And you know, that's really what every business needs. How do I get traffic coming in? How do I get people to see my products or services? What up, Mike? Speaking of which, this guy's getting around, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in a good way. Mike's going on his comedy circuit. He's been rocking the world, making people laugh, and he does a great Macho Man Randy Savage. Just saying, Mike, you do a great Macho Man. I love it. Oh yeah, brother. But still, okay, back to
good times.
back to this thing. So Customers is what you need. Customers is what you're looking for.
Customers.
What we want you to do is create content as much as possible. The way we've been structuring the show has been a little bit different. I've been structuring my questions in a way so that we can take this long form piece of content that we create together. When you come on my show, we have a sit down conversation. We take that 30-minute piece of content and we break it up into smaller pieces. And my thought process, and this is where I'm coming from my point of view, is every guest that comes on my show, I want to be able to say, give them the Shark Tank effect, right? So when they come on the show, not only do they have a good time having an interview with us and we create some fun content, but we turn that content into something that can generate you leads and customers, because that's really the bottom line when you're getting into podcast. What did we call them? Podcast. It's gonna slip my mind, but where I went on a different podcast tour.
Podcast tour. There you go.
So when you're going on a podcast tour, when you're going out and creating social media content, what is the purpose behind it? The idea behind it is simple. You want to get more eyes on your prize, more eyes on your product or service, so that people can come and buy from you. That's really, really, really what it comes down to. So again, having that goal in mind, having something in mind and knowing where you're going, even though you might suck at first. When you pull out the camera the first time and you record, you might not be very good. You start a podcast, it might not sound so great. You might not get the listeners that you're looking for at first, but you're starting to create content. And if you have that goal in mind, you're going to get there. Our goal is simple. We want to create content that brings you business and brings you leads. And so we're designing our podcast to be able to do all of that. And dude, it's been a process. This week, James, my goal is simple. I want to schedule conversations with my marketing team, conversations with my editing team, and I have an idea of how I want to structure our episodes. And so I want to make sure I get that laid out. I've created and that in a template, right? That's the goal for this week. It sounds, it doesn't sound like too much for me. I think I might be able to handle it, but the end game is still like that vision that you want to get to. And so if I have a vision that I'm going for, every step that I'm taking, whether or not I succeed, is still a step in the forward direction. Right. So Ham, when you're talking about your guitar, bro, like how many times do you play a perfect note or you transition? When you transition
so
from
far,
C-A,
I have not transitioned on tempo, so I still suck.
It's okay. I suck.
I still suck. I still suck. But literally, it's been 5 days. I got it on Wednesday last week. I got the guitar on Wednesday last week.
When we started the podcast, we said we're going to do this for 3 years. We're going to commit for 3 years, and we're going to get progressively better over time.
Yep.
Did you set a goal for yourself?
I was working on my vivid vision last week, and one of the questions in my vivid vision is, what sorts of things do I do every day? And I wrote down the very first thing. I play music. I've been practicing guitar mostly every day, and I listen to music a lot too.
That's a good start to your vivid vision. But it's what makes you happy. Like,
yeah,
music
so here's the thing, right? Is hobbies are awesome, right? When I talk about how I was working 14, 16, whatever hours a day and like really wasn't making a lot of time for other things, music would have been a great hobby to have. And what I love about learning guitar, I mean, I could sit and watch Netflix all day, right? Like we can do our Marvel movie marathon and, just sit there and watch movies all day. And I love watching movies, but playing music is like exercising my creativity and my imagination, and like I'm learning something. So it's like a productive hobby. So it makes me feel good. I like it.
Ain't no thing, dude. Plus, I hear if you learn to play the guitar, you kind of learn to play the piano at the same time. So I don't know how that works. I'm not a musician at all, but I heard that if you could play the piano, you could play the guitar. And I think if you could play the guitar, you could play piano. I don't know how it works both ways, but I don't know. We'll see if it translates. All right, ladies and gents.
We'll see how it does.
Well, we did a short one today, mainly because I'm still at school. So I got to get up on out of here before all the kids get out, because then there's going to be a major traffic jam. But we'll see you guys again at 4 o'clock today. Other than that, Ham, you got any last minute things?
Got your victory dance? Well, I got it right here. Yeah.
Boom.
That's
all
it.
right.
That's all I got.
Right. We'll see you guys later. Peace. And we're out.
Peace out.
Thank you for listening to the Business Bros Podcast. Are you looking to get more clients or to increase your income? Hernan, the business bro, can help you generate referrals through the power of podcasting. And James, the insurance bro with Pipeline Insurance, can help you effectively add insurance to your existing business. If you are ready to create wealth today and generational wealth for tomorrow, email businessbros@siasfirst.com to schedule a free consultation or join the Business Bros Network, www.businessbros.biz.